Thank you for viewing this YouTube archive of a Conscious Consumer Network broadcast. Please feel free to share it far and wide. Check out our weekly broadcast guide for weekly updates on scheduled broadcasts. Help keep us on the air by contributing to our network support fund. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or get in touch via email. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.
All right, folks, welcome to another fast ride at CCN, where truth does not escape us over here. We're going to give it to you with both barrels today. We're going to be talking, got Sister Jessica back on by popular demand because she really knows how to roll with the healing energies on the planet. She's doing some incredible work over where she is at. And I'm real excited because there's so many more solutions protocols coming, because that's why the show is called Solutions for the Planet. We don't want to get stuck in the problem, even though I have to bring the problem out to give people clarity on what's going on. And so for those that are clicked on to this show, if you have never watched a video, which you can pull up on YouTube in literally seconds, just go to YouTube and pull up Death by Medicine. And this is one of the strongest videos I've ever seen on the planet with Dr. Null actually explaining, with other doctors on board, explaining the incestuous ties of the big pharma, FTC, the FTC, the CDC, the big insurance companies. Folks, they're all in it for the money. You are just literally a money mark, and if you go watch this, you'll understand that those protocols that they're putting on the street were created back in 1937 and funneled in by the Rockefeller construct to because we did have homeopathy, Jessica, back in the early 1900s, and then the Rockefellers put them all out of business, and now they're marginalizing the doctors, the good doctors who want to do the alternatives, and pulling their licenses, like Dr. Rebecca Carley with the vaccinations, weapons of mass destruction. That's another video people should go see about the vaccination scam. But I got to peel this nasty onion off before we can get to the solution. So this is why I'm putting this out on the front, and it's time to change the planet. I feel the shift. The protocols for fixing this, the wake-up call, it's ironic, on the 30th of December when we ended this, our call on the 30th of December, we were talking about that we were going to be in a huge shift. Well, the shift is here, and the planet is getting the shift kicked out of it. Yeah, it is, and it's coming full circle. And we are, we are all being responsible now to be very well educated and aware. So even though you might be talking about some heavy things, am I echoing? Am I cool? Is it cool? Okay. You're talking about some heavy things, but we've got to be aware. And the thing is the truth will set you free. And so the work that you're doing, it looks like pretty scientific work over there where you are right now. And the work that we're doing is it's all based in, is rising up above, the old paradigm of that victim perpetrator planet that we are so used to living on. And, you're either playing that part of victim or you're playing that perpetrator. And now you're setting yourself free. And exactly, if you've been watching my Second Sundays, my channel transmissions, it is all about putting yourself in the driver's seat and taking personal responsibility for not only your health, but all the other things that make up your life, including, your own self-worth and your own self-judgment, because again, that is going to reflect outward. And not being able to trust yourself makes you need to trust your doctor. And if you can't listen to your body's own biochemical needs, then you are going to trust someone outside of you who maybe went to school for 12 years to learn about drugs, but has not spent a lot of time learning about nutrition. And they have not learned a lot about holistic treatments. And I think a lot of people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so they are finding new information online. There is nothing that's a better investigator than, someone with a sick child, or someone who's watching someone slowly die from, modern medicine that is designed to basically keep you as a client and not get you well. And, that's something that we see every day in our office is a lot with our light workers too, a lot with our volunteers and our empaths. They're highly medicated to just be in the world because they're too sensitive. And so it's about educating on natural holistic ways to take your own power back. And as we take our own power back, then that gives us the power to overthrow the powers that be. Because think about it, there's 7 billion people on the planet, and there's 7 families
that keep those 7 billion people asleep, I think the odds are in our favor, don't you?
And
there you go.
I was muted, of course. Anyways, that death by medicine, they even had pharmaceutical reps who had a social conscience and actually knew that they were a party to the scam, and they actually grew a conscience and actually stepped away from that realm because what have I been saying forever? There's not one good medication on the planet. They're all poisons for profit. And, you know, when you start putting naphthalene deliberately into all these medications, the cellular structure of the body can never come back online or come back home. And this is why people, they need to go watch this video. I can't expound upon it enough because it is reality. It's in your face, and they've got to be willing to look beyond the pale, because if they stay in the same construct, they're going to die for the damn lie. And you know, it's ironic. I had somebody coming down here from another state to get some of the leaded paste that we carry, because he knows he can't get it in the state he's in. I won't mention the state, but he's coming down to visit with me this afternoon, and I'm going to take care of him. You know, this poor lady, she was in tears yesterday. I got to talk to her. You get to talk to, share the love on the planet, and it breaks my damn heart. They cut out half her lung, and she doesn't realize that there's simple solutions, but she realizes now, and she's just ecstatic. And so she knows. I said, sweetie, I'm not going to let you die for a damn lie. I love you enough to share these protocols, which we can fix so many things. And it just makes me so angry that this white coat medicine, FDA, that's incestuous ties, and they're killing their brothers and sisters. What type of souls? These people have no souls. They've lost their way for profit. Well,
they have not lost their souls, but they have replaced love with power. And anytime you don't feel loved and you need to feel loved because you're a soul, you're going to find it through power. And that's taking power over other people, and it's consuming power over, the planet. And our job is to care enough about ourselves, because the thing is the people who are getting sick are the ones who don't care about themselves either enough, that they put their lives in their doctor's hands and let someone else play God to what they should be learning about themselves. That's why I've got to open this school, because we've got to teach 3-year-olds about basic nutrition and healing. Yep. So that, when they're 15 and they go to the doctor and the doctor says, you need this, they go, no, I need this, 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 and this. And they are well informed about their own bodily needs. It's like you buy a house and you get a walkthrough and you learn how the house works, but you don't get that with yourself. And they keep that out of schools, and they keep that even out of medical school. They keep real solutions out of medical school. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to always come at you with love, is 85% of the people who go through med school, maybe even 95%, they're going with pure intentions. Yes. They're lost in the system. Those are the healers. Those are the ones who are on the planet to help. They're not on the planet to get wealthy, because there's not a lot of money in it anymore unless you're pushing drugs. Right. And so a lot of times people like you, an ex-doctor, it's like that you started all of this because you want to change the world and you want to help people. And you know what? Sometimes you can get lost in the game, and we've all been lost in this game at some point. And I'm going to tell you that there's a lot going right on the planet. There's people like you who are doing these radio shows. There's this midnight oil that you're burning to make these solutions in a garage, and it's just like there are millions of people who are searching for answers, and we're working in solutions, and we're done working in the problem because there is no solution in the problem. Right. Enough people are going to get sick. And they're going to go, that's it. Yep. And the kids that are coming in sick, we've got such a big heart for them that we may not go save ourselves, but we will save our kids. And we will put that into the quantum field, and that will be pulsed out through desire and DNA, because our body is upgrading. We can't keep treating it like a garbage pail. We've got to take care of it and love it unconditionally. And you know what? Loving ourselves will actually destroy the government. It will get rid of the banking systems. It's going to get rid of all the politics that are in the negative favor. And all we have to do is turn inwards and say, you know what? I love myself enough to find a natural solution to heal the problem that I have manifested. Exactly. And so there's a lot going right. And even though we're dealing with our own personal hell right now, because our lives are coming full circle, and we're in the height of tax season, so everybody's feeling very frustrated. you know, because it's bringing up all that old paradigm of repression and suppression and guilt and shame and, you know, basically keeping the poor poor and making the rich richer. At the same time, there's a lot going right because you know what? People are rising up. Yep. You know, I just posted something on Facebook, you know, 1 million kids just meditated in Tibet for peace. How freaking awesome is that?
Oh, it's incredible.
And I just heard a couple of weeks ago that they gave a newborn baby cannabis oil in a traditional hospital for cancer.
Wow.
How badass is that?
Yep.
Right? So change is happening. And as people, we need to know that the change is going to build on itself. And eventually it's going to feel like we're pushing that rock up a hill. And all we've got to do is push it and it's going to roll downhill. And all the work that you're doing in this lifetime to help the planet, you will actually get to see full reward of what you're doing. So you got to have faith in yourself to know that this hard work is not going unseen. You are changing lives. We are changing lives. And that's what we got to keep focused on. We got to focus on what's going right while we work on what's wrong.
Well, here's some irony. Whoopi Goldberg has started a company to bring forth suppositories, vaginal suppositories for the female species for menstrual cramps. You got how cool is that?
I saw that. I posted that on Instagram. Yeah, because I looked at my husband. I was like, can you buy me some of this? He's like, yes.
Well, you know, and I've already talked to Brother Brad. I get to get creative over here, Jessica. This is why I'm in Colorado. I knew this was my ground zero. This is not about ego. This is about I can practice a little alchemy out here. I'm going to go into creative mode because this is what I do. And it's really exciting because I get to bring forth THC and cannabis technologies unparalleled to none. And Big Pharma can kiss my ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're becoming unstoppable, you know, and every day I get emails from my podcasts and the radio shows and people are saying, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. Thank you so much for showing me that I could do it, reminding me that I had the power all along. Because it's as simple as doing the research, you know, we're trying to get that movie Vaxxed right now into Kansas City so it can be shown. Because you know what, even I have some amazing clients that are nurses and doctors, and they're all for the change, you know, but they get caught in the system. And sometimes it's good that those natural, pure doctors are still in the system because that can crack from the inside out.
Yes, yes. And I was saying that, I said 3 years ago, I says, it's going to take a minute for because I'm aligned with some other white coat brothers and sisters who do alternatives. I says, but there's going to be a lot more when the gloves are off and the truth is so in your face, you can't go into cognitive dissonance and denial. All these doctors, every damn one of them. Matter of fact, I just talked to somebody yesterday, a buddy of mine, and he's aligned with some physicians. And I said, here, I'm going to send you a video. I want you to share this video with those doctors because they have the right spirit and the right heart. They just didn't know how incestuous this game is.
Right. And I think that a lot of times we get lost in it. You know, I mean, everybody's been lost in that world at some point, you know, where you're seeking power over love. And that just doesn't work. And there's just too much light on the planet right now to not show everybody's dirty laundry, including your own personal stuff is coming to the surface. It's like someone put a big old light switch on and said, here's your closets. Let's let everything out. And now the truth can be seen. So all these documentaries and all these videos that are leaking out and all these testimonies and, you know, the truth is going to set us free. And we just have to be strong enough until that paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Until we start getting rid of the media and getting rid of the banks. And then that's when the regular person is going to say, oh, well, something is really changing. But from our perspective, we see everything's a game changer. Everything's changing. The world is waking up. And I'm going to tell you, awakened people are not going to settle for mediocre health. They're divine. They're going to ask for the best of the best because they're going to know they deserve it.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to that shamanic root. We're going to find those ancestral medicines. We're going to work with those spirit guides we call plants. And we're going to allow them to work with our biochemistry, just like Mother Earth. And we're going to heal ourselves from thousands and thousands and thousands of years of oppression, suppression, and lies. Yeah. We're doing that now. How awesome is that?
Oh boy, it's we're in the here and now, and we get to be we're smack dab in the middle of this transition, this shift, and it's a real great time to be alive.
It is, and it's the hardest time to be alive. you know, because we're not on one side or the other. We're not our other generation that was asking for change and the future generation that gets to acknowledge the change. We are the ground crew. We are the ones that are going to suffer for what's going to be the beautiful. We're germinating, we're seeding the planet, and therefore our next generation is going to be able to reap everything that we sow. And even our kids that are coming in now, they just expect a nice world. They expect health. They expect this. They expect that. They are so in alignment with their God sent that they're not going to take no for an answer. They're not going to listen to what you say and not be able to translate the lies that are coming from the mouth. And that's even why this whole political thing that's going on right now is a joke.
Yes.
Because it's like, for the first time in our life, we're realizing what a circus, specifically this particular country, is, and what is actually going to represent us as a population. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. And I think that people are seeing that. And this election is helping people wake up, because everything negative is a positive. Everything that hurts teaches. You know, every lie, there's a truth. And so they're doing us a favor and exposing all of the criminal activity that's been on this planet for thousands and thousands of years. They're exposing it. And you know what? They look like a joke.
Yep. Well, I mean, you know, and I don't watch the Idiot Box, but I had to go. I watched the Donald Trump and the other 5 monkeys on the stage, and I said, this is nothing but kabuki theater. I mean, I had to just take a look at it to see how, because I know what I know, and I know it's all a scam, a sham. We won't charge these people to stay in this country. Well, those poor bastards that have come over to this country from another country have been monetized, and they don't even have a clue that they just stepped into the worst situation they possibly could, because they're going to be a good controlled nucleus construct slaves. So as long as people keep giving over their power by voting, if you're on the voter rolls, you need to unconsent and terminate the contract, because if you're sitting at the King's buffet table, Obama's table, that's why they can dictate and legislate your life away, because you gave over your power again.
Well, it's kind of like the second you're born, you get a social security number. And you know what that is? That's a serial number. Yep. And you know, especially in this country. And I work internationally with people now, and they don't have the same viewpoint we do in this country. And it is a breath of fresh air, you know, because they may have the same traditional problems that we have in this country. But this country is so damn blind to the truth, because we're so saturated with distraction and disassociation. Yep. You know, and no, I don't watch the media, and I have no interest in this. I tap into collective consciousness quite a bit to find out where the fear thermometer is, you know, because as soon as we can get that fear thermometer in that path of, you know, of love, then that's when everything can change. So just I tap in, I watch the vibrations of the planet, and, you know, they're pulling out all their big guns, trying to get us super distractive of the change that's coming, because by this time next year, this planet's going to look and feel different. Yep. It is. And we just got to, you know, break down, break through. And everybody's got to get find humility, and they've got to pull from their suffering, and they've got to say, okay, I'm done buying into this. And when they do that, and enough people unite, you know, then basically what we've got is the new Million Man March, but we're going to be taking people with us, you know. And it's just like Martin Luther King stood up there for a long time by himself. And at one point, then the paradigm shift happened. But you know what? Nobody's getting assassinated this time. Yes, they are undercover, but there's too much light on the planet for that to go unexposed anymore. There's too much going right. And you are part of that. What you're doing, you may not get to see all the benefits of what you're doing collectively, but every time you do a radio show and you inform people and you put those videos out, and I put those videos out, and all of the like-minded volunteers and light workers out there that are putting our asses on the front line for truth, we are doing the groundwork that creates awareness. And through awareness, this planet is going to change. Not through medicine, not through church, not through doctors. It is going to change through awareness. The more aware someone is in how they can heal naturally, we become so empowered, because you know what? The power is right here. Yep. The power is in the choice. Take the pharmaceutical medication or take the plant-based, you know, basically truth. And then they have that option. Everyone has that option.
Exactly. Well, it's ironic. I was talking to a friend of mine last night. He's over in Ocala, Florida. He's coming out here and locking onto 40 acres to do some growing. I mean, the crap is hitting the fan. I mean, I love Colorado. I mean, this is where it's happening. I mean, I'm right in the nucleus of the massive cannabis awareness shift. Matter of fact, it's Big Pharma is a $2.3 trillion a year business, and we're going to suck their bones dry, just like they've been sucking our bones dry, because we're going to redirect the outgo of that cash flow into that corporate construct system. Cannabis is going to grow. Matter of fact, somebody just posted me by 2020, it's going to be like a multi-billion dollar friggin' industry. I mean, it's going to. And that's the sucking sound coming out of Big Pharma's back pocket. I don't really care, because they've done it with bad intent. They have no, conscience to do the right thing, most of them, because, like I say, CDC, FDA, the insurance companies, they're all in it. You're just a prop. They're just a prop. The people are just a profit center. So when they find out that there's alternatives to heal, I'm going to get some testimonials over on my International Cannabis Patients Wall. That's why I put that thing up. I'm working with Brad, and we've got success stories. I would love to get a few of them to come on CCN and share the truth, so people can see, feel, touch the real truth. I mean, I know doctors that are actually teaching dosing on the oil and these other constructs. I mean, and they don't like it at all. But the deal is don't really care that they don't like it. It's we are in the shift, because people know that the Poisons for Profit Club is not working. I have a gentleman here who's on the premises. It's a friend of my friend Nate, who are doing these processes. He just come in. He's been through 2 things of chemo. He had cancer twice, and I'm teaching him how to get his machine right, and he's really happy. Good.
Awesome. And what we're doing over here is we are teaching people how to quiet their mind so they can disconnect from the matrix.
Yep.
Because the thing is if you're in the matrix, then you will die for your matrix, because you believe in your matrix. And if you get outside of the matrix, because this isn't a 3rd dimensional planet anymore. This is 4D, this is 5D. This is where we go right up here, find solutions, and materialize it like that. We don't have to keep playing this game. From now on, it's a choice. So if we can help people move out of their own hell of matrix and out of their own personal hell of matrix, and find that stillness and find their own heart again, and find those solutions that is coming directly from that gut intuition, then what we're doing is we're doing the micro of what the macro of other ones are doing is we're trying to get people so that they can realize that they're not a sheep, but they are a sheep herder. And they might awaken, and they might see no one around them that is awake, but they have the opportunity to now become a guide for that, instead of feel alone and, invisible and different, because a lot of us feel different. The ground crew feels different because we don't have suffering in our heart. We don't have the ability to hurt someone else the way that we've been hurt. We don't have the ability to judge the way that we've been judged. And therefore, we've got to be able to help people move out of that matrix into the stillness of their own true perspective, and then tap into the universal mind, where all the magic solutions and miracles reside, and then know intuitively, oh yeah, I just need cannabis to solve my cancer issue. It's like right there. There's just that clairsentient comes back alive with them, and they just know what they need to heal. But if they're in the matrix, they will fight you about what their doctor said.
Yep.
They will die for their religion.
Yes.
They will go to war and fight for drugs and money and power and leave families behind. And that's just not okay with us. And we're doing a ton of work in the military now. We got in the military?
No.
Yes, we did. We have a gal who's a client who is Air Force, and she's been using our MindFit device to work with her PTSD and her insomnia. And the changes that she's had are so remarkable that she took it to her commander. And they just got approved for 5 devices on base.
Wow.
Do you know how amazing that is? We are infiltrating the military with meditation.
Wow.
And we're going about it from a PTSD perspective, because I'm going to tell you, my clients that come to me that are veterans who have PTSD, they move right into addiction, because addiction is that adrenaline that they're so used to seeking that they don't know how to turn that off. And you can't throw a vet at a desk job and expect them to do well. They will fight porn addictions. They will fight all sorts of addictions. And so what we do is we teach their brain how to deal with stress differently. We teach them how to turn on their intuitive guidance system instead of their military guide system. And all of a sudden, they take their lives back and are healing. And so we are beyond excited about this.
It's amazing. There's a gentleman here in Colorado, ex-military. He was suffering from PTSD, decided to become a master grower, and he's going and he's helping his brothers and sisters in arms who are dealing with their issues of the day. And he's created a construct for donations to bring forth the medicine. I mean, they are just cracking this thing wide open. So Monsanto's genetically modified garbage that they've been bringing, it doesn't matter because we're source. And I said, yeah, all of us know where your source comes from, and they don't have to kowtow to the dispensaries and buy their bull crap. I mean, Brad, look at the ground Brad has broken. We're in 50 states now with a THC paste because we know that Scumbags or Us Club don't want people to get their minds right or really fix their maladies. But to be in 50 states with the highest CBD plant on the damn planet, that is nothing less than stellar. You know, 2.5 years ago, I had the mindset. I said, gee, I might have to go down to Ecuador and grow a bunch of weed with Johnny Guzman from QLP TV and give away the medicine for free. Well, we're exchanging energy for energy, and the people that are getting it are just so excited, so happy. And now Brad's creating. He's going into creative mode on other modalities for skin cancer with the DMSO and the paste construct. I talked to my buddy last night. He's got skin cancers. He's been using a little bit of oil, but the oil is not really the way because it gets compromised, usually through the extraction processes. You're not leaving it intact. So I'm always going to ring the bell on the paste. I mean, yes, I'm over here making oil, but this is for scientific studies, for medical universities and stuff like that. So Nate's doing a pretty neat thing just by creating the oil. And the oil does have efficacy, but not when you keep, I say when you keep it, I'm all about purity. I'm a purist. If I can get you every little CBD milligram out of every jar of paste, I mean, 2,500 milligrams is a lot of milligrams of CBD. I mean, and I've seen other companies that are selling the oil, and it's like $50. It's $1 a milligram. We're like 8 cents a milligram. So, and they did an independent study on us, and we're the only ones that rated A+ across the board because, and even the guy who actually wrote the article said, wait till the oil makers find out that they really don't need to do it the hard way. They could just take the plant matter and create the higher, the CBDs through the paste process. We are the groundbreakers for the paste. We're not going to be the only ones. I know there's going to be more coming, but I hope they have the healing intent in mind. See, that's where Brad lives. See, he came forward with good intent. It took him 3.5 years to create the highest CBD plant on the planet, and now it's moving forward. And it's going to come back to him because of his good intent. It's going to come back in spades. So, I mean...
and everything that works is basically simple. Everything that is divine is always simple. For our audience that follows me out there, tell me a few things, a few symptoms that the paste can help, because I know it helps with cancer. I know it helps with this, but I'm dealing with PTSD, anxiety attacks, Lyme's disease, fibromyalgia, all sorts of autoimmune disease. Who else does this help? Who else does this help?
For irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, Alzheimer's, anything neurogenic, especially because it rewrites the new pathways to the brain. So especially people who are dealing with from strokes, and people with seizures. So there's really not too many areas it can't fix. So, I actually post a link out with just 10, like cancer's on the list, fibromyalgia, menstrual cramps. So it covers, the list is long, and I just send out a short list, and then I direct them to go over to International Cannabis Patients Wall so they can go watch some of the videos on how CBDs work, how you have an endocannabinoid system, and how you're reawakening and reactivating the endocannabinoids of your system. I've had Sister Bethany on, who's Brad's right-hand woman over at the Cannapaste. She's been on the show, and she's a good educator, and we broke down the questions and answers. Because difficulty, I post the link for my new paste. They can click on the link, and I tell them in the answer link how this can help you.
That the principle of cannabis and how it works to realign is not just the biochemistry and the neurology. But from a spiritual place, it lowers resistance. It lowers the noise factor. It lowers all of the stimulants that's constantly bombarding our energy fields. And it helps us basically get back online within our own self instead of being plugged into the mass hysteria of the online system of the matrix. You know, Wi-Fi and chemtrails and all of this outside stimulation that's affecting our neurology. It's designed to separate the brain-body connection. And when the brain-body connection is off of line, we don't believe in anything. We need someone to tell us what to do because we're pretty much zombies walking around for our next med. You know, we need something to wake up. We need something to go to sleep. We need something to help with panic attacks. And really what we need to do is we need to get distance from all of the static electromagnetic noise that's on the planet and go back into the biochemical quantum computer that is perfection, that is designed to heal itself, and get back online. So if I need to use cannabis paste just to do that, then I'm saving myself. I'm disconnecting from the matrix by just finding that stillness and that relaxation that the cannabis paste provides myself. So it's not just about treating disease. It's about finding that inner rhythm within one's body connection and putting that brain body back online so the body can heal itself. The body was designed to live thousands of years, not 85. It was not designed to have any sort of mental disease. And that is all created by basically separation between the natural self and the higher self. And ego is running the show. And ego is plugged into the pharmaceuticals. It's plugged into the Monsantos. Ask yourself the last time you went down into your ego, what kind of food did you crave? Junk food. Yeah. You went down into your ego. What did you want to do? You want to do something that's negatively active to your body. So ego is going to trigger and plug into that matrix system. So it's about deactivating that parasite that we call ego that is stuck in the lower frequencies. And so we've got to rise above that. And we got to do whatever we need to do to get space on that. Nature, music, color therapy, tone and sound. These are some of the things that can get us space between and pull I run at night. You're plugged into the matrix. You know, so you've got to be bigger than your matrix. You've got to still live here in peace, but you don't need to be plugged in.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, the upside is I'm in Colorado. We're making some really neat stuff over here. Yeah,
in your bubble, you're not feeling that so much.
Make dabs. We're making. We're playing in the ether. We're playing with the plant, whether it be to smoke it, take it orally, inhale it. But yeah, it takes when I do the paste, I made a nice jar of some really good THC paste, and then I take a nice star ride, and I wake up in the morning refreshed, energetic, and not feeling fractured and all over the place. And when I don't take it, I notice a difference. So I got to be more continuous because it's changing the electromagnetic flow of my body, and because I'm a high voltage circuit, I need an offsetting balance, and the paste is really helping.
Exactly. And I think that anybody here who's come primed for change is going to be fed through their passion. And if they're not fed through their passion, they will be fed through their anxiety. And so it is all about finding that balance and that space. It's like, you know, most people, it's like a computer. You got too many apps opened, so right? And so it's about shutting down and going within. And you're living in an environment right now that's collectively supporting what you're doing. And I can even see from this time, the last time I was on your show, your energy field is so much more chill. I might think that you were, you know, smoking something. But I'm noticing that you are so much more at peace now, just within yourself. And it's interesting at different parts of the planet where there's more activated fear and where there's more activated change. And, you know, I live in the heart of America, which is extremely the religious Bible Belt. And I'm going to tell you that I've had no conflict here. You know, people are really, really open to receive what I'm doing because, again, being in the heart chakra, this is where you're unconditionally loved regardless of what you believe in. So it's, for me, I might work internationally, but I get to plant myself right here at the root. And I get to feel all the storms around me, but I get to play that eye of the storm. And so you being in Colorado, you notice that certain places like Florida is really feeling a lot of fear. California, fear, right? Yes. And then the elections. And so there's a lot of like outside areas that are really infected too. And that's where, if you're in one of those places on the planet that's heightened in fear, you will notice that more devastation will be drawn to that, because like attracts like. Vibrationally, if you're in a low vibrational place right now, you're going to be the byproduct of the big change that's coming, because we're not just dealing with a health change. We're dealing with planetary changes. There's going to be parts of the planet that are going to go missing for a while. There's going to be devastation coming. And if you don't have your own personal vibration right, then you're going to get sucked into those places on the planet. And so it's really important right now to go within and say, you know what, does this place feel good to me? Time to go. I mean, why do you think you intuitively left? You know, you couldn't have space to hear yourself. You were plugged into a lot of military activity out there.
Yep. Well, and it's also, you know, and there's other things shifting on the planet. I'm aligned with some of the best and the brightest on how to break free from the matrix. I'm talking from a driving standpoint. Sweetie, I'm aligned with some really geniuses on the planet. My brother Kurt is bringing forth some incredible, let's put it this way. How would you like to have private plates and you'll never get a ticket from Deputy Donuts ever again?
Okay, give me his number.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to send you the audio, and I want you to listen to this audio. It's a long audio, but it is so deep. But this is, I'm already in my shift. I've already taken off from the plantation. I've already unconsented off the voter rolls. I've taken my physical actions. Yes, that was in 2D land on paper, but I had to walk over that bridge spiritually, emotionally.
Tuning into CCN. This unique network is dedicated to free and independent media. CCN was created with the belief that information is the common heritage of all beings, which is why our live stream high-definition broadcast is easily accessible and free to view. If we want to change the world, we must first change the media. Having produced over 1,000 shows in 2015, which are all archived on YouTube, we look forward to bringing you more groundbreaking, cutting-edge information in 2016. For more information on what is on, please check out our broadcast guide for weekly updates. CCN broadcasts in multiple languages and features some key voices of our challenging times who are all in pursuit of a free, fair, just, sustainable world. CCN belongs to you, the people, and it is up to you all to keep this network on the air. Please contribute to the Network Support Fund or visit the CCN shop. We thank you all for supporting free and independent media.